The Sunoco Busch Series comes back to the 3/4 mile short track known as Richmond for some more under the lights racing, as it is the Autolite 250. And on the pole, Matt Richards once again gets another pole for the season at 129.5659 miles an hour, 565 miles an hour. And on the outside will be Grace Gunnan, who gets another outside pole showing. Let's see if she'll make it matter here today. Row number 2 will be Emily Johnson, who came so close to winning at Darlington, won at South Boston, and the same thing could be said about Kelsey McEwen. He'll be on the outside. Row 3 will be Casey Hutchinson and Ralph Green, our pole sitter at Daytona Subway 250. Row number 4 will be Ken Johnson and Diana Panic. Diana's a two-time winner. Row number 5 will be Jason Vuong and our most recent winner at Darlington, Faith Johnson, who won her second for the season and actually was on the pole at our spring race here. In row number 6 will be Celia Brewer, the winner at Martinsville, and Andre Castro. Row 7 will be Nick Knotts and Jack Richards. Row number 8 will be Christina Cowan, our points leader by a few points over Ann Batson. So Ann, who is right now last in the points, Christina is your points leader, and then the number 2 in the points, Keith Batson, who's right there in the mix for the points chase, and Darnell Jones, the winner of Kentucky, will be on the outside. In row number 10 will be Zed Weinstein and Tim Gardner. Tim is the lone Gardner family racer. Today we'll tell you about that when we get to the DNQs. You'll find out why. Jordan Hetzer, our Darlington Spring winner, and Courtney Winterbow will make row number 11. Row 12 will be Gerald Dickmet, the winner at Talladega, and Tim Freilich, the winner at the spring race here. In row number 13 will be Trey Roberts and Jacob Rodriguez, the Talladega pole sitter. Grace Friedman and our most recent pole sitter at Darlington, Hayden Klein, make row number 14.
Drivers, start your engines.
Jeremy Doobie, the winner at Hickory, and Charles Jackson make row number 15. Adam Fiegel and Jeremy's brother Mike will make row number 16. Gabrielle O'Brien, the Daytona pole sitter, Goodies 300 pole sitter, and Juliet Leonard, the winner at Nazareth, will make row number 17. Row 18 will be Adam Chambers, the winner at IRP, and Alexander Wilson-Leach, the pole sitter at IRP. Christian Brandon and Matthew Rodriguez, the Pikes Peak winner, will make row number 19, and Dougie Shears, the winner at Chicagoland, will round out the field. The DNQs include Ed Gardner. As I said it before, Tim Gardner is the only Gardner here because Ed DNQ'd, as well as our Las Vegas winner, Dunn Laprad, and our winner at Milwaukee, Lena Savage, also DNQ'd. 39 cars. It'll be 25 laps. Let's see who's going to survive here. The track that's one tough customer. I'll explain why when you get to the Sunoco Cup race, why I said that. Early on, leader is the number 48 of Matt Richards. We got some 3 abreast racing going on here. Kelsey McEwen right behind. 4 wide, and there we go. Trouble off the bat as Faith Johnson's day is over. Keith Batson stuck with nowhere to go. A tough break for Keith Batson. Same thing with, and they're still banging up. We see guys going through the dirt. I don't know what happened there, but we have a new leader. I am assuming, no, it's still probably going to be Matt Richards. But let's see what happened with Faith Johnson. As you saw, both she and Grace Gunnan 3 abreast, and then you looked like they were coming out all clear, and then a 4 abreast situation starting to come up with Kelsey McEwen. Going right in the wall was Emily Johnson with Grace Gunnan, tagged the number 38 of there's Diana Panic. You see Celia Brewer getting hit. Diana Panic takes a hit. And then you see Keith Batson is basically stopped, nowhere to go as a bunch of the cars go by. Same thing with Adam Chambers squeezing by and Gabrielle O'Brien. Now, I think we saw someone go through the grass. It looked like we saw some stuff flying, so what happened with that regard? It may have been, yes, Jason Vuong probably going through the grass there, so that's where we stand as far as that. Matt Richards leads still. So looking over where we stand after that one caution, the first caution, Matt Richards leads. Casey Hutchinson's now in second. Ken Johnson is in third. And Kelsey McEwen, Jason Wong rounding out the top 5. Then Ralph Green, Nick Knotts, Christina Cowan, Grace Gunnan, and Faith Johnson rounding out the top 10. Andre Castro, Jack Richards, Celia Brewer, Ann Batson, Tim Gardner, Courtney Winterbauer, Darnell Jones, Tim Freilich, Jacob Rodriguez, and Jordan Hetzer. Then Hayden Klein, Charles Jackson, Gerald Ickmat, Mike Doobie, Juliet Leonard, Alexander Wilson Leach, Diana Panic, Matthew Rodriguez, Grace Friedman, and Keith Batson. Then Gabriella Bryan, Adam Fagel, Zed Weinstein, Christian Brennan, Adam Chambers, Jeremy Doobie, Trey Roberts, Dougie Shears, and Emily Johnson. So that's where we stand so far. I do believe we are still under yellow, so I'm guesstimating we're going to be back to green flag racing lap number 7. We're going to be at the 20 lap to go. We'll be within the 20 laps to go window. Yep. It'll be lap number 7, so it'll be 19 laps to go for Matt Richards, who basically went wire to wire at the first Bristol race when he poled and won. Then he won the Busch All-Stars at Charlotte, and then he won his second real points race at Watkins Glen on the road course. So he's a very compatible runner. He had a very good showing in the Cash GTX Cup as well, season to boot. Casey Hutchinson right now following suit. Here comes again number 38 of Kelsey McEwen battling it out with Ken Johnson. We got a new leader coming. Here comes Casey Hutchinson in the Kraft Foods Bullseye Barbecue Sauce Ford, and we're under yellow again, and that takes the cake for Emily Johnson. She is done. Bad trouble continues for her, and I don't even think that's the reason. I think it had more to do. There we go. Grace Friedman getting into the back of Diana Panic, going into Adam Fagel in the number 43 STP Pontiac. Tags Adam. You saw it also hit Zed Weinstein. So Adam goes in the wall. Then you see the number 87 of Christian Brandon as well as the 0 of Adam Chambers taking it. So then he's sliding. Now here's where Christian, Ann Batson, Emily Johnson, T-bone right into the side of the Pontiac. She goes up on his lid. He goes up and he rides the side of Diana Panic's Ford and puts himself on his roof. So a tough break there. And then Grace Freeman, who was actually pinned back behind the number 83 of Diana Panic. So her day is done as well. But that was a scary situation. It was almost reminiscent to what, on a lesser extent, what Emily did to Keon Shaw in the Cash GTX Cup race at Texas, where she went full speed into Keon Shaw's side of his car and put Keon flying. It was that bad. But let's go on board with Emily Johnson, basically coming from a very good showing in Darlington to a DNF here in Richmond. And it sure doesn't help when you have no hood. Just a little word for the wise. If you have no hood, that might not be a good idea to drive into people like that. Just saying. Trey Roberts. I don't know what happened with Trey Roberts there. Oh, he was just making a pit, so I don't know if Trey Roberts had any issues. Okay, he and Dougie Shears just got out of harm's way, so that's where we stand in that regard. So Casey Hutchinson still leads. Matt Richards is second, and Kelsey McEwen, Ralph Green, Ken Johnson rounding out the top 5. Then Nick Noss, Jason Wong, Christina Cowan, Grace Gunnan, and Faith Johnson running at the top 10. Jack Richards, Celia Brewer, Ann Bassett, Andre Castro, Tim Gardner, Courtney Winterbauer, Tim Freilich, Darnell Jones, Jacob Rodriguez, and Charles Jackson. Then Gerald Dickman, Jordan Hetzer, Mike Doobie, Hayden Klein, Juliet Leonard, Alexander Wilson-Leach, Matthew Rodriguez, Keith Batson, Zed Weinstein, Christian Braden. Then Jeremy Doobie, Gabriella Bryan, Grace Freeman, Trey Roberts, and Dougie Shears. Tough break for Adam Chambers, who was looking really good. Gets a DNF. He will not finish. Same with Diana Panic, Emily Johnson, and Adam Fiegel, as they had what we saw. So a tough break for Emily Johnson, who had a very good showing at Darlington, but not gonna does a complete 180 here. So we'll be back in the green flag racing. It'll be lap number 13 of 25. We're about a dozen laps to go, roughly. So it'll actually be a baker's dozen amount of laps to go. 13 laps to go. So we're at the halfway point for Casey Hutchinson. Let's see what happens. Pace car pulls off. Casey Hutchinson's going to lead the field once again. We have a new leader, so Matt Richards led the first caution. Now this time we've led by Casey Hutchinson. Maybe Kelsey McEwen could poise some sort of a challenge, like he's doing right now. Going for the number 2 spot. Same thing with Ralph Green. He's trying to bounce back after being right there in the mix and then falling off recently. Ralph Green now using the help of Casey Hutchinson. Kelsey McEwen to pass Casey Hutchinson. Same thing with Nick Noss going into the number 5 spot. 4 spot coming. Ralph Green's going to do the same thing. And we're yellow yet again. And I think it may have to do with Jacob Rodriguez and Zed Weinstein. Let's see. It probably more has to do with... Yep, it will have to do first with Jacob Rodriguez getting spun by Charles Jackson. Now, I don't know if that's the one culprit, because I also saw Zed Weinstein spin. I think that would probably be... Well, you could say either or, because Jacob was still on the racing surface when he spun. And Zed getting spun by Christian Brannon didn't help matters either. So, let's actually go to this shot, because Jacob Rodriguez's spin actually triggered the yellow, so... Yeah, because because I think Jacob Rodriguez was the one that triggered the yellow, even though Zed Weinstein getting spun by Jeremy Doobie and Christian Brannon could also be pointed as well. So that's where it's been. It was basically a double spins for the most part. So nonetheless, let's go back to where we were. Casey Hutchinson still leads. Kelsey McEwen is second. Ralph Green is now third. Matt Richards drops back to fourth. Nick Noss, Ken Johnson, Faith Johnson, Christina Cowan, Jason Wong, and Jack Richards now gets himself in the top 10. Grace Gunnan drops to 11th, and Batson is 12th. There's Tim Gardner, Celia Brewer, Tim Freilich, Andre Castro, Darnell Jones, Courtney Winterbauer, Gerald Dickman, Charles Jackson, Mike Doobie, Jordan Hetzer, Hayden Klein, Matthew Rodriguez, Keith Batson, Alexander Wilson-Leach, Juliet Leonard, and Jeremy Doobie. Then Gabriella Bryan and Trey Roberts. Grace Freeman, Christian Brannon, Jacob Rodriguez, Zed Weinstein, and Dougie Shears will round out the field. So, I do believe... Let's see where we'll be now. We'll still have a lot of room to really try to get a couple laps in the back. It'll be lap number 19 of 25, so we'll be 7 laps to go, I do believe. 7 laps to go for the number 45 Kraft Mayo Bullseye Barbecue Sauce Ford. Green flag getting to the fly for Casey Hutchinson. Let's see if Kelsey McEwen can do something now. Kelsey is trying to bounce back after tapering off this portion of the year. Casey's going to make a move to the inside. He's got enough momentum. Or does he? Yes, he does. He'll take the number 1 spot. Ralph Green's going to now try to challenge. So far, so good. We're looking good. Now here comes Ralph Green going to try to challenge. Matt Richards is back in the hunt. And now Ralph Green's got the number 1 spot. 3 abreast racing going on here. Matt Richards goes to the number 2 spot. Kelsey drops back. There comes again our winner at Darlington, trying to ride momentum. Faith Johnson. The Johnson sisters' name rides with her. And Christina Cowan is trying to extend her points lead as well. Tight racing going on here. Nick Knotts touching with both the number 72 of Jason Huang and the number 38 of Kelsey McEwen. Going up high there is the number 01 of Ken Johnson. New leader, once again, our pole sitter, Matt Richards. Now here comes Ralph Green trying to make a move again. We are at, I do believe this is 3 laps to go. Ralph Green, Matt Richards are going to battle it out. Here comes Christina Cowan going into the 4th spot, passing Faith Johnson. When you stay cautionless, this is what you'll get. Some good, no-nonsense racing. Ralph Green's got the lead. 2 laps to go, barring any more yellows. And that will basically take the cake. We are done. Hayden Klein involved. Saw Christian Brannon there. This race is over. Ralph Green will finally win his first time in the Sunoco Busch Series. So as I was just saying how you stay cautionless, you get some fun racing. We get a caution. And Ralph Green, it will win here at Richmond. Now let's see where it all started. It started with the number 88 of Hayden Klein. You see also the number 59 of Charles Jackson. Charles gets pushed by the number 51 of Darnell Jones. They both go sliding to the inside. Now that's not the issue because both of them were, if they stayed straight and didn't have to worry about anything, we would have had some good clean racing. Then Hayden tags the wall, goes up, hits number 59 of Charles Jackson, and then hits the number 41 of Darnell Jones, and that's where the yellow came into play. So they were just crossing the line when that all happened. So now I thought there was some more stuff going on. Yep, that's where Zed Weinstein and Christian Brannon. Juliet Leonard was trying to get out of the way. Same with Brannon. Same with Weinstein. Jacob Rodriguez was right there. There was not that much room. Weinstein goes up, Brannon goes up, Leonard goes up, Weinstein tries to go in between Rodriguez and Brannon, and then both of them go into the wall, so, in the front straightaway. So that's what he did. Now Dougie Shears, yep, he dodged a bullet, so. Nonetheless, this race is over. Ralph Green will win. He'll take the white flag, so he'll wait for the pace car to get in front. He'll take the white flag. Ralph Green will win here at Richmond. 2nd spot will go to Casey Hutchinson. 3rd will go to Matt Richards, Faith Johnson, Christina Cowan round out the top 5. Christina Cowan's actually going to get a good chump in the points. Nick Knotts will get 6th, so Nick Knotts will probably be the one closest contender. Then Jason Huang, Grace Gooden, Kelsey McEwen, and Tim Gardner rounding at the top 10. And it'll be Ken Johnson, Jack Richards, Ann Batson, Tim Freilich, Courtney Winterbauer, Celia Brewer, Gerald Ickmat, Jordan Hetzer, Keith Batson, Matthew Rodriguez, Jeremy Doobie, Alexander Wilson-Leach, Mike Doobie, Trey Roberts, Andre Castro, Jacob Rodriguez, Julia Leonard, Grace Freeman, Gabriella Bryan, Zed Weinstein, Hayden Klein, Darnell Jones, Christian Brannon. Charles Jackson is DNF'd. Dougie Shears will be a lap down. I think he's probably going to DNF. Adam Chambers, Diana Panic, Emily Johnson, and Adam Fiegel. But your winner, crossing the stripe, Ralph Green gets his first for the season. Congratulations to Ralph, who came so close many a times and was at one point really starting to poise a challenge and then lost it. But worry no more. Ralph Green gets his first win for the season and actually gets himself a good jump in the top 10. With that said, let's look at the point standings. Faith Johnson, another good showing. Christina Cowan still leads the points, but Faith Johnson has stayed right there in the mix of things, 17 points behind Christina. And then it'll be Keith Batson, Nick Knotts, and Kelsey McEwen rounding at the top 10. So Kelsey's got some ground to make up. He's only 178 points behind Christina. Ralph Green with that win gets himself to 6th. Hayden Klein, Tim Gardner, Gerald Ickmat, and Tim Freilich rounding at the top 10. Then Jordan Hetzer, Andre Castro, Mike Doobie, Dougie Shears drops out of the top 10 to 14th. Juliet Leonard, Emily Johnson, Adam Fiegel, Alexander Wilson-Leach, Gabriella Bryan, and Casey Hutchinson rounding at the top 20. Then Darnell Jones, Adam Chambers, Matt Richards, Ken Johnson, Trey Roberts, Jacob Rodriguez, Jason Wong, Grace Freeman, Jack Richards, Jeremy Doobie, Charles Jackson, Ed Gardner, who DNQ'd, dropped to 32nd, Courtney Winterbauer, Celia Brewer, Dunlap Red, Zed Weinstein, Matthew Rodriguez, Grace Gooden, Diana Panic, Christian Brennan, Ann Batson, and Lena Savage with the DNQ drops back to 40 last, and she's only 941 points behind the leader. But we're getting close to that 3/4 of the season mark, and that will be at our next event. It'll be Gateway International Raceway in Illinois, just outside of St. Louis, right by the Missouri-Illinois line. The CarQuest Auto Parts 250 on the 1.25 mile speedway. That'll be next, but we got the Cup cars at Richmond before we get to this.